Christa Pynn, and I am a citizen advocate for wild horses. Not only that, I'm an American. I have a little American spirit today because I am so privileged right now to have a very special guest joining me to teach me, not only me, but all of us, how to use our voice, how to speak up. This video, this platform, this message coming to you is something that you will be able to watch again and again. I know I will, as I'm learning to use my voice, the most effective way to use your voice. So today, joining us again, I'm very honored, is Leigh. Welcome, Laura. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, Christa, and you're right. The most important thing people can do right now is learn how to express their voice and stop giving it away. And I've tried to use this example so often. Is I was sitting in a meeting, and it was a very important meeting, and two groups came in with these petitions, and these petitions had signatures on them. One was for one position on fertility control, and one was against fertility control. And the signatures on the petitions were the same people. So people didn't even realize that when they received a petition from an organization that said, help us save the wild horses, they didn't even realize that what they were signing was actually negating their own voice. And so for people to begin to learn how to take their voice and express it themselves and not give it away is the most important thing we can do right now when we have so many political issues moving so quickly: education, healthcare, public land issues. I'm gonna speak from public land, but what we're gonna talk about, people can use for anything. So the beginning to exercise your political legs, you can use in any arena. So it can be anything that you find yourself upset with. With wild horses, there are a lot of issues. And so I know, including you, there are things that you see and hear that really bother you. One of the things we need to do is kind of narrow it down to one point per action.
Okay.
So is there something right now that you want to address that we can take that and help you craft your message?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I have been following the wild horse story. That is my personal passion. And I love how you said that this video or this message here is really about whatever stirs your heart. And, you know, it was hard for me during all of the political madness. I am not a person that likes to get out there. I like to learn, I like to research, I like to listen. And at the end of all of this, to be honest, I'm standing here feeling helpless. I have signed petitions and put my name on different things and really not feeling like I knew what I was signing. Where was it going?
Anybody ever hear me? And so many people right now feel like no one even listens. How your voice is being delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you deliver a package correctly, you have a better chance of being listened to. So we'll move forward with wild horses.
Okay.
Because I know that's what you want to know about.
Yes. How do I even define that into a question? I mean, that is really my question. How do I share this huge passion? I mean, you know, yes, you're emotional when you're passionate about something. Yes, it's spiritual because you know it's special. But in this day and age, all people want to hear is facts. How do I bring all of that into a message that somebody will listen to with respect? That's what I want to know.
No. So what a lot of people start to feel is, you know, I have this passion. This is something so interested in me. You know, I'm so interested, but I have to give my voice to someone else because I'm not an expert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a range scientist, or, you know, I don't know policy issues in depth. I don't know, I'm not the expert. So I need to give that voice to somebody else. And you're wrong. So there are ways where you don't have to be an expert, where you can craft your passion, so where you can get that message through. But the only thing you really have to comprehend is the framework
Yes.
of your issue.
Yes.
So like with wild horses, Often, and I've said this so often, people fail to remember that wild horses are part of public land management. And so when they address the issue or a senator, and even when the news media covers a story, the story will be about after that wild horse, after it's captured. And we never really get into what the conversation of management is.
Mm-hmm.
And so people really have to understand that wild horses, when we discuss wild horse management, we are discussing public lands management. And so that's the frame that you have to address your senator, your congressman, your lawmakers in that framework. We are going to run a webinar on Saturday for people who really want to understand that in depth, to get into the real meat of that. But you don't even need to know that to address these issues.
Right.
So like right now,
for like me, I'm honestly, I mean, I really, it's almost a little embarrassing that at this stage in my life, you know, I've not exercised that. And although maybe I've done other things, you know, nowadays, you know, again, you know, does our voice really even count? I want to get.
Does count. And what drives me a little nuts is what I've seen. I'm media. That's my background. Is I've seen the public kind of trained to give their voice away. And so what I want to do is kind of get you going the other way. So a lot of organizations will create a collective and then use the energy of that voice, if that makes sense. So hatred is something we're really tapping into now. And the hatred doesn't have to have anything to do with the issue. It's the hatred that kind of joins people together. And then profit-driven interests, or the person who's going to benefit from it, will literally steer the hatred without educating them to the issue. And the more you don't know about the issue, the more you don't know how to educate, use your own voice in the system appropriately, the more you can be used that way. And so what I'm watching right now is a lot of people that really believe someone has their best interests at heart, no matter what the issue is. They're giving their voice to them, and their voice is not what's being represented. So we're going to give you your voice back. So before we kind of lose people who have limited time, let's get into that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Tell me, I got my notebook, I got my pen, I got my phone. I'm ready.
The most important thing.
Kids are out of the house for a minute. Kids have to be out of the house when you're doing this so you can concentrate.
So when you begin an exercise program, you begin a class, you begin to do anything, you begin with your notebook.
Okay.
Okay.
My notebook.
So your notebook, everybody needs to designate a notebook, and that notebook is your advocacy journal. So in that advocacy journal, you're going to put a date and what action you took as an advocate. So you're going to be, we're going to be contacting your congressional representatives. We're going to begin that process for you. You write in there what action you took, what response you get, and what your thoughts are about what you've done. And then a year from now, 2 years from now, you can look back on your progress as an advocate and begin to self-correct. So a lot of times what people will do is they will formulate an opinion and then hold steadfast to that opinion without the ability to course correct themselves. By keeping a journal, you can course correct yourself and then go back to exactly what happened. I'm a litigator. Exactly what happened? Oh yeah, here it is. And here's where I've documented everything. Here's my proof of what I've done. These are the emails, the letters, the videos, the audio recordings of what occurred. So my journal is not just used for my advocacy, it's used for litigation. You never know where you're gonna end up in 2 years. You could be writing litigation. So let's just begin with you.
Okay.
So right now, the biggest issue with the horses is the budget.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, the conversation right now is literally focused on, you know, tens of thousands of wild horses taking a bullet or going to a kill buyer. So how do you express your displeasure with that without being the expert?
Okay.
Okay.
So approach is very important. I mean, they don't want to get a 10-page rant. They want to get to the point and hear,
They want you to do this in 1 page or less.
Okay.
They want you to tell them exactly what's concerned you and then what you want them to do, always. So that's what you have to do. You have to present your issue in a paragraph.
Okay.
You have to tell them what you want them to do. And then you have to thank them.
Okay.
Don't pick up your phone, call your senator, and call him an expletive horse killer.
Okay.
It will turn off.
Okay.
Make sure that you have researched the issue. We all know I litigate for humane issues. We all know that litigation in the work was key in creating the first humane handling policy. If people call and are very unaware that we even have a humane handling policy, call a senator and scream about it when he's really not even part of the process. And people do that repeatedly when wild horse advocates call about a valid issue like this budget. They're going to go, oh, wild horse advocate, crazy cat lady, put her on hold. Right. And so that's one of the problems that we have with this issue is we're often, as an advocacy, not taken seriously. Right. Okay, so right now what's going on in the big picture of wild horses, everybody knows, like even in our last interview, you were like, it's the land, right? I know that the land is so important. Yes, and that's all you need to know about that, okay? So couching that in the correct language to a senator or congressman is, there are so many bills being introduced right now. I'm an American citizen. I have a job, I have a family. I can't track everything in all those bills, but I want public land to stay public.
Okay.
And that's really your message. That's your sentence.
Okay. All right.
Okay? So any bill, anything that comes in front of his desk as his constituent, which is what your label is, you're a constituent for him. He represents you. Your voice, how he wants, you want him to represent you is public land stays public.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Management of public land stays public.
Okay.
Not a finite group, not a state or a county, but this is America's public land. So you don't live in Nevada, but you want your voice maintained in Nevada for the things you care about. Public land stays public. Management of public land stays federal. So you've just covered the land where they stand and the voices allowed in process without having to know all the details, without having to get into specific bills, and without having to be an expert. Right. You just covered 2 really important points for horses in 2 sentences.
Right.
Number 3.
I apologize, I didn't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to add that, I think it's important to realize that there is also a platform for all our other passion and words through social media. We feel like we can't stuff it all in one little tiny box, but they want to hear the wording, the bullet points. And for those of you out there who do feel like you want to share more and express your emotional passion, there's many other ways. Am I right on that? Or
oh, there's tons of other ways. And every action, writing a letter to your congressman or senator, you're not going to write one. The idea is really to boil this down to simplistic points. So what I do, there's a bill introduced. I have issues with specific language in that bill. Not I'm against the concept in the bill. And I will write one letter that addresses language edits for that bill, and I will send that in.
Okay.
The next week, there may be a bill that I am adamantly opposed to the intention of the bill, and I will write a letter about the intention of that bill.
Okay.
So this process of engagement with your congressional representatives is an ongoing relationship.
Okay.
So that when you get to the voting booth next time, you know whether to vote them in or out. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing is your voice is not something you use once. You're creating a conversation. Your voice is something I hope you all use for your lifetime. I'm not just about horses, okay? So the big thing right now with horses is the budget. Now, you don't have to include the statement about public land. You don't have to include the statement about federal management. You can save those for letters that you're writing next time. Everybody out there doesn't want to see these horses die. You could make your call about one thing and one thing only.
Okay.
And that call is going to be about this proposed budget.
Okay.
So it's a budget. Don't call them and say, you horse killers. We're talking about a budget. They want to save money. So if you were doing a household budget, what you would be doing is going, okay, well, I need to save some money. Where do I cut the budget that it's appropriate? I'm going to pay the water bill. I'm going to pay the electric bill. You start to prioritize what you're going to spend money on, and you get rid of the things that you don't really need. So that's the way you have to approach any conversation that you have with a legislator about a budget bill, whether it be education, whatever it is. So you were talking about saving some money by feeding, about feeding those horses. So instead we're going to kill them. That's just not okay. What we need to do is we need to take a long-term strategic approach on if we want to save money. And so what we need to do, because killing horses is not appropriate, we need to be doing the program back into, and that's going to be where range management gets.
Laura, can you repeat that last statement you just said? It cut out just a little bit, and I want to make sure everybody heard you. You were right there.
What the heck was I saying? What I'm saying?
I don't know. I couldn't hear it.
killing tens of thousands of horses, or allowing, and this is what I'm noticing a lot of organizations, this is also being lost in messaging. Every horse sitting and holding costs the taxpayer money to capture, money to feed. We're going to give those away to kill buyers so that they can now make literally millions and millions of dollars.
Wow.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to dump more money into the laps of an industry which is pretty foul. And I will be writing some articles on that, on how that would work out financially for another interest group. But really all you need to do is keep it simple.
Okay.
So when you pick the phone to call your legislator, you can say, and this is really appropriate to say, I've never made a call before.
Okay.
To my senator or congressman. I'm really nervous right now on the phone with you, so I apologize.
Yes, okay.
Very appropriate to say.
Okay, that probably sounds about right to me. I probably say that. Okay.
But I've seen in the news that the budget right now could end up getting a bunch of horses, wild horses, killed. And that's, as an American, that's just not okay with me.
I'm very concerned about the budget. I'm taking notes. And the budget could get, should I say a bunch of, or 10,000, or how would I?
No, it literally is tens of thousands.
Oh my God. It's great. All right, tens of thousands of horses. I'm very concerned because the budget could kill tens of thousands
of wild horses.
Okay.
And as an American, that's not okay with me.
Okay, as an American, that is not okay with me.
And it's really good to say, because his voice represents you, is to also say, as my representative, I don't want you I want you to oppose that.
Okay, I want you to oppose that. Okay.
For people like me that you represent. Remind him that he represents you. We need to find, if we need to save money, there needs to be a better way. And you can even say, if I have to save money in my house, I'm not going to throw my kids out the door.
Right.
I'm going to continue to feed my kids. I'm going to find another way. For you, that's absolutely appropriate to say.
Okay.
At home, making analogies to the real world that you live in. Like, if I have to save money at home, I'm still going to feed my kids.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find another way to save money. And I hope if you have a say in the budget or a say in any of the bills that are coming across your desk, that you look into that. You know, so when you're making your call or writing your letter, speak from your authentic voice. So what we have a lot right now is we have a lot of people trying to be, you know, range experts or political experts. They're not being authentic in their messaging. And that's another thing, is when you exercise your voice must be authentic to be effective.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So the next step would be finding out who my senator is. Like, you know, I mean, we hear all of that, but the reality is, does everybody know who their senator even is? So how do we go about finding that, Laura? I've got my computer up right now, ready to look up how to find that, and I'll be able to show this as a screen share for all of you watching. So let's see how we do that. Laura's going to guide.
I have found that too. I have found that a lot of people don't even know who their representatives are, or even what Congress looks like. So when I use the word senator or the word congressional representative, people don't understand the difference between the House and the Senate. We have two houses of Congress in the US. One's the House of Representatives and one's the United States Senate. So you have a representative in the House and a representative in Congress. Now there's two websites that you can go to. I like to use congress.gov, but I tend to do a lot of bill tracking. There's a website that's real easy to interface for the public, and it's called GovTrack. So G-O-V, type this in, G-O-V-T-R-A-C-K.US.
Okay. And I will be putting all these links below for you guys, if you know, for you to be able to access if that's something you would like to do. Okay, so it's coming up. All right, got it.
And you should see an interface there that says, it should come right up there, find your representatives.
Okay, find your representatives. Enter your address to find your representatives and senators, and then get alerts.
Yeah, now you don't want that on the screen.
Okay, I will be cutting this out, but I'm
going with people.
Yeah, no, I'm going to cut this part out. But for the, and you mentioned earlier too something about that with your privacy and stuff. I think you wanted to add.
Right. So when people put these letters that they've sent to Congress on their Facebook page and stuff like that, black out your address.
Yeah.
You know?
California's 42nd Congressional District is Dianne Feinstein, senior senator from California.
So you're very, very lucky because you do have somebody who will listen to you.
Oh, good. And
now
then underneath that, it says junior senator from California, Kamala Harris.
So what you can do is you can, there will be a list. And so you have your Senate and your House representatives. And we'll kind of do that a little offline, but everybody has all of that. So you can pick whoever you're going to write your first letter to, or you make your first phone call.
Okay.
And all you do is pick up the phone.
Okay. And then I see right under her name, there is a phone number. Is that the phone number I'm calling?
That's the phone number you call.
Okay. So we're going to do the call. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I'm doing it, you guys. I'm doing it. I am nervous, but I'm excited. I feel good about this. I feel really good about this. And thank you again. This is what we all need to know. We can do this. Okay. So I'm calling the number on the website right now. Now, I'm obviously not, am I not going to talk to her, right? Or am I going to talk to her?
Depending on how busy they are and whose office you're calling, you will either have a secretary or an aide answer the phone.
Okay.
And you approach the secretary and the aide as if you were talking to your congressman. Same level of respect. So, good afternoon. I would like to leave a message, and again, you can tell this person, I've never made a call before to my senator, but I'd like to leave a message about one of the one of the things going on with the budget.
It is going. I'm gonna let you guys try to hear. Remember your name.
I'm going to try to be quiet.
Hello, this is Senator Diane Feinstein, and you reached my Washington, D.C. office. I'm sorry, but all of our lines are busy right now. This phone system will allow you to hold, but it automatically disconnects after 2 minutes. So please, either hold, or if you would rather, call back in a few minutes or 15 minutes or so. Thank you so much.
Now, right now, people are going to be getting a lot of that because we've got the budget, we've got all that kind of stuff, so you can make a call later. A lot of times what I'll do, and I'm going to give you a little trick right now.
Okay.
What you will have there is you'll have her DC office, and then you will have the local office. And so there will be multiple numbers. You can click on her name and go to her website. So you have Feinstein.
Okay, so I'm clicking on her name.
And you should go right to Feinstein's page.
Got it. Okay.
Underneath that there should be multiple phone numbers listed of her DC office and her regional offices.
All right. I'm looking. I'm just so you guys can see, I'm just scrolling here a minute. It's not, and just so you know, when you look at, looking at a website, it's not screaming at me. So I'm going to have to search a little, which takes some time. So it says email Diane.
You could do that as well. That's another way to do it, is to craft a letter. Any letter or that you write. Remember, you don't have to cover everything in one letter. Keep it simple. What you're writing, try to keep yourself to 3 paragraphs. And then if you have supporting information in your letter, documents that you want her to read, reports that you want someone to read, add those as attachments.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. Now I did find another number.
Yep, you can try that other number.
Let's just see what happens for the sake of the audience, so you guys can see. I'm going.
And a lot of times what you'll get the aide on the phone. So there's different regional offices. Expect to speak to an aide. Don't expect right away to speak to your senator or
okay. And it's good practice even speaking to the aide, because I get more comfortable when I practice something. So maybe it's, a good, to feel like it's a good place to be too. Okay, let's see what happens. Yes. They're putting me on hold. Okay, now I'm getting my notes, so I know what okay. All right. I'm going to be nervous like all you guys. I want to make sure I get it right. Okay. I'm glad I took notes, see? You don't want to freestyle this. It's very important.
Always keep your journal handy.
Mm-hmm. We're on hold. Actually, being on hold a minute is a good time to collect your thoughts. We get irritated. I know I get irritated being on hold, but sometimes we got to look at everything as a positive as we're pursuing this, so we don't give up. We're on hold. That's about the extent of my patience. That was a nice thought. Yes, hi, my name is Christa Pynn, and this is actually the first time I've ever called, but I would like to lend my voice to a concern as an American citizen that I have regarding the public land and the budget that has just been cut for the wild horses. And I would like to express that I am very concerned, and I would like my senator to oppose this action and come up with another way for our wild horses so that they are still respected part of America. So I just want to make sure my voice is heard along with many others, and we are very grateful for this opportunity that our voice can be heard. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
You did beautifully, okay?
I did it.
Absolutely beautifully. And did you see how he responded?
Yes.
What he was doing is he was writing down that he took your zip code so that he could identify you as a constituent. Now, the only thing different that you might have done in that call at all is ask him for an email that you can use to send him a follow-up.
Okay, and I wanted to ask that, like, is there anything more I can do? So thank you, because I was kind of stuck on that. Like, is that it? That's all?
That's it. That's all. You just got a message to your senator, and it was an appropriate and respectful message about the budget, and you really think we need to find another option. You did beautifully.
Thank you. I feel really good about that, and I'm really proud to do that.
And that's that. Okay, so when you tell me, you know, people have all this passion and what can we do besides make these calls? These calls are so important right now. The most important thing we can all do is sit our butts down, get ourselves not jiggling, get up the confidence and make these calls. That was easy. That wasn't hard, was it?
It wasn't, and actually, I can't even believe how good that actually feels. There's something very empowering about that. That's an inner thing. I don't know if I can put it into words yet, but there's something important about all of us doing this. Whatever your passion is, whatever your heart's stirred to.
Christa, why that feels so good is that's your voice.
It's almost emotional. It's almost a little emotional.
Yeah. And so as you do that more and more, and you keep your journal about where you're going, what you've done, the actions you've taken, and you learn. I started writing litigation.
Wow.
So that as I learned how to express my voice and all of the tools and really expanding who I am in that process of expressing my voice, I've written winning Ninth Circuit litigation. So never underestimate, just talk. You've begun your journey of fully actualizing your voice in politics, in process. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really feel I'm going to wear this all day today in celebration of my newfound voice.
What you're going to do next.
Okay.
Is what you just said, you have an opportunity now to put it in writing.
Okay.
So put it in writing, send it to, even if it's just the general email.
Okay.
For Diane, you're going to put that there, and you're going to begin with, thank you so much for taking my call today. Mm-hmm. Now, I know he said his name, and you have the luxury of scrolling back in the video to hear his name.
Yes.
Use his name, that he took my call today. And I thank you so much for listening to me. And I know that there's a lot going forward. But about the budget with the horses, that you really think we need to find another way if the name of this game is saving money, and you really oppose the killing of the horses. And again, so you start with thank you and shoot that email off.
Okay.
And so what you will have done is you've spoken it, and now you're going to bring the other side of your brain into play, and you're going to write it. So the way our brain works, you're now going to connect the two sides. You've spoken it, you're going to write it. And now you're going to have a written record. So when you send off that email in your journal, you're going to write that you sent off that email. Perfect. And then we're going to have the webinar this Saturday for the people that really want to start to get into all of the places to express your voice. And that we're going to be doing the first one of those on this Saturday. And you can go to wildhorseeducation.org, and it says your voice, do you understand? Click on that article and sign up for the webinar. But we hope that everybody who's watched this takes this first step of exercising their political legs for the horses. The most important thing you can do right now is not give your voice away, is learn how to use your own voice. And as you move that forward, you will become more discerning as an advocate. And as we collectively raise our voices, we will become more effective for the horses.
Well, thank
So
you.
congratulations, Christa.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say, Laura, so many people don't know, but you've been the one digging the trenches for us, that we can come out, and that my job, you did the hard work so that we can come out and know how to do this. And I want to just tell you again, I'm honored that I get a personal tutorial. And I want to encourage everybody to make that call. I'm going to be posting below some links that can help you get there. I will also be posting my email letter. So if you guys want to use it as a template or just kind of get an idea, it comes straight from Laura Leigh, leading the way in the front lines.
There are many of us who are trying to get people to exercise their own voices, who are trying to bring this forward. I'm not the only one out here. I know a lot of people get angry at me when I say don't sign that petition. Like I said, I've sat in a room and watched the same signatures come in on opposing voices. Anybody that tells you that they've got it covered, just sign our petition, become suspicious, because what they're looking at, you need to learn to become a discerning advocate. Right now we have very slick $1 million entities manipulating people's voices to achieve agendas that don't even often represent what they claim to represent in the first place. You have to be protective of your voice. Our country is based on principles. The First Amendment to our Constitution is not just protecting people like me in the media. It's not just protecting those things. The First Amendment is intended to protect your voice. And unless you comprehend what your voice is and how to use that, once it's stolen from you, you won't even know it's gone. And so that's the larger conversation, forces, that our nation really begins to have.
Wow.
Messaging. It's not about what these big PR firms and all this stuff. It's about understanding your own voice and your own place in this process.
And again, horses are lending themselves to just a very deep soul lesson. So
yeah, well, the horses are very interesting for a lot of reasons in the process. They really are and are an extraordinary example of how propaganda can not only minimize an interest, which is the horses, but it can actually remove a segment of the American public from the conversation. So wild horses really exist in a reality that has very little to do with the land they stand on, but has everything to do with prejudice. And so when we have a conversation about wild horses, it really is a conversation about image, prejudice, and minimization. And so learning about how to express yourself through this maze that the wild horses exist in, it really is a conversation you can take broader. So again, webinar this weekend, you've taken your first step. Next week, we're gonna take you another step through this process of advocacy, and we're gonna get you involved in some more conversations so that people can understand they don't have to be me. They don't have to have seen the roundups. They don't have to know how to do a rangeland health assessment. They don't have to know how to read an EA. They simply have to understand their voice and speak from that place. So as a parent, as a school teacher, as an American citizen, you have a right to have your voice heard, period. You don't have to be me to care about the horses. You don't have to be me to interact with your senators, because your passion, things you love, and the things you care about are as relevant in that conversation as anything I bring forward.
Well, thank you for setting that example for us, Laura. I'm very grateful for that.
I'm very grateful for you, and congratulations. What you did today is awesome for me. You have no idea. So go to the website. We'll have this stuff up. And
all righty. Well, thank you, everyone. And like I said, look for the links below. Hey, please subscribe. This is our new breaking news, WHEgoLIVE newscast. We will bring you all kinds of stories coming up. So we have some exciting things planned for you guys. And this is a part of a deeper story that we all need to tap into. And I think, you know, the American spirit will rise. So thank you guys for joining us. Subscribe, comment below, let us know what you think. We want to hear your thoughts. And any questions that you have will help us with our future messages. So leave a question below. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.